Helldivers is a pop culture sensation that took the internet by storm back in February of 2024, with amassing up to 458,000 concurrent Steam players, and the servers weren't even holding the whole load. We had immediately a sensation. Now, Helldivers has been around since about 2015. The first game was released back in December of 2015 with an all-time peak of 6,800 on Steam. Not that we're not counting PlayStation numbers, but we have a massive sci-fi pop culture franchise incorporating things from our favorite franchises, most notably Terminator and Starship Troopers. And joining me on this podcast, we're going to talk all about Helldivers, is my number one co-op partner. We've been gaming since he came into the world. Same mother. He's got 462 hours of duty logged. He's got 107,000 confirmed kills, only less than 1,000 clones possibly utilized. He's done over 800 missions. My brother, self-proclaimed, just like myself, Captain Ransack. Mike, thank you for joining me on this Helldivers podcast.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for having me. And what up, gamers? Good to see you all.
Yeah, so we are talking about Helldivers, and you are like an encyclopedia when it comes to the gameplay in Helldivers 2. We were playing the other night, and I'm listening to you. I'm like, man, this guy's got some great suggestions, some recommendations, even like kit arrangement when we go into missions. So I was like, you know what? I gotta have him on, and technically, you're on the Astro-Nots channel, and we do space games. But,
okay,
you know, Helldivers drop from orbit, so that's space. We're going around, dropping on planets. And
oh, yeah, we're conquering space.
Yeah, we're
all the
liberating.
Space around Super Earth.
We are.
Yes.
We're spreading democracy, liberating from space. And just wanted to get into it. So, what do you think made Helldivers 2 this massive pop culture explosion?
Okay, If I had to say, it was kind of what you alluded to before, with it just kind of grabs all these great ideas from a bunch of different franchises and mashes them all together. But unlike some other games out there, they actually managed to pull it off and just make it work. You've got all the sci-fi nerds who love Starship Troopers,
yes.
Warhammer, they're all gonna gravitate towards this, or just, you know, sci-fi guys in general. Lots of 80s movies references, yeah, with it, whether it be with like some of the weapons or just kind of like the armors, some of the things that the characters say and stuff like that. You know, it just grabs all these things. You know, it's a third-person shooter, but, you know, you can still aim down sight for most of your weapons, like in a Call of Duty game. You have the stratagems, which, for the Call of Duty players out there, is basically your kill streak, but instead of your kill streak being tied to how many kills you're putting out, it's just on a cooldown. You just have this awesome ability. They're all on cooldowns, and Arrowhead Game Studios, I think that's how,
yeah,
I hope I'm saying that right.
You got it.
You know, they just give you all these tools, and they just send you out onto the war front, and they just tell you to go have fun.
Yeah, you know,
and you just go nuts.
And you know what I also got to say too is playing this game when it first came out, and I mean, like, it depended on what time of the day you played, but if you played in the morning, you might get stuck with our EU brothers and sisters over there, and if you play really late, you might get stuck with some of the Australians, and everybody was just serving for Super Earth. Like, and I love the role play in this game. Like, it leaves the game. It's on Reddit. It's in comments on YouTube. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok. There's always people saying, like, pleasure serving with you, and giving each other kudos on their duty.
Everybody loves playing into that because, you know, it's got that really just tongue-in-cheek propaganda,
yeah, for sure,
whole theme going for it, you know, so everyone just kind of willingly plays along, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I always enjoy seeing that stuff outside of the game because, you know, it just goes to show you how much people really enjoy it and how much it what's the word I'm looking for?
They kind of connect with it. And what I was going to get at is there's this underlying tone. Like, everybody plays a video game, you love being a hero. And a lot of heroes and superheroes, like, they have superpowers, whatever the case may be. But this is one of those things where, like, you're a hero by duty. You know, we have, like, our firefighters and our police officer and armed forces and stuff. And Helldivers gives you that, like, hero by duty type feel. And it's like you can relate to people playing the game. And you don't have to, you know, like, when you play Marvel Rivals and stuff, you're like, oh, I'm a Spider-Man main or whatever. Like, no, I'm a Helldiver. You know, like,
exactly.
It feels good.
Exactly. You're not playing as any specific Helldiver. It's all you.
Yeah.
And, like, they really give you so many tools with all the war bonds for you to just really live out that power fantasy of just going to an unknown planet and conquering it and just
no, we're liberating.
Liberating. Yeah.
Spreading democracy. I prefer that. You know, if we're going to be politicians, I prefer that. All right. So
don't tell my democracy officer I said that.
Yeah, no. So I want to get into a little something. You probably know more about it than I do because you've been following how the weapon balance and how the game has progressed since it's released. And there was this game has a bit of a redemption arc because it came out the gate super hot. Like, this is one of the first games I've seen had a crazy launch. The game was so good. The servers weren't holding everyone, but people were still, like, forgiving Arrowhead Games. Like, it's okay. Just get more servers. Yes. We love it. So then, like, they got more servers. People were playing the game, and then there was a bit of a lull. Like, there was that whole situation where people were downvoting the game. And I wanted to ask, do you remember what that was about? Like, there was a big downvote campaign.
I do remember that.
What was that?
If I remember correctly, you know, he said I was an encyclopedia. I'm not exactly an encyclopedia, but I have been keeping up with the game a great deal. Yeah. But anyways, if I remember correctly, it was because on PC, where most of the players are, I believe, Sony decided to make it a requirement that you would have to sign up for a PSN account, a PlayStation Network account, in order to play Helldivers on PC. And it was a huge deal because all of the countries that the game originally released in, not all of them have access to the PlayStation Network. And so with Sony planning to do that, they were really going to exclude a lot of Helldivers 2 players from the countries where PlayStation Network wasn't available.
You know, and that is a huge deal. I remember hearing about that. Like, I already stopped playing the game for a little while when that happened because things were happening. And so I do remember hearing that, and that is such a huge deal. Like, that is such a, and, you know, I feel bad for Arrowhead because it's like it probably wasn't their call, you know, like, all right, we'll make people sign up for PlayStation.
From what I understand, they told everyone that was all Sony just trying to, you know, sneak everybody into PlayStation Network so they can just get in their ear and get them to buy more PlayStation stuff.
Well, I think it was probably metrics and business numbers. Like, look how many people are now on the PlayStation Network. You know, they want to show their investors and stuff like that. Of course. And it's like, listen, you guys made this amazing PC game. Like, we are PC gamers, okay? Like, let us play it on our PC. You're padding your numbers. You're making us do some signing that we don't want to do. We want to play this game on our PC.
Yeah. And the sad part is there's still a lot of countries that the game isn't available in anymore because of that whole debacle. Some of them were able to get back on the game, but there's still lots of countries on that list of regions that are unable to play the game still, and a lot of people are still sore about that, and understandably so, because we need some help on these recent major orders. They're getting insane.
We need help. Like, the count is it's still healthy. We're still in the top 50 on Steam, but you know, hey, we'll use anyone we can take. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not Super Earth if we're excluding all these other regions.
Exactly. Like, who doesn't want to fight for democracy, right?
Yeah. I really do hope that they find a way to get them playing again, because I don't understand what's preventing them from doing that. They already desisted on the whole linking PlayStation Network account to the PC game. So what's the big deal? Why can't you just allow these people to play the game again?
I'm sure they messed
don't
up
know.
somewhere with business. Like there's something with the region business. Certain countries and regions have like access to certain website. Like, you know, not everything as liberated as like, let's say the United States, you know? So I don't know those details. We don't have to like really try to figure that out. Next thing I want to get to.
I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Next thing I want to get to was there was a bit of a lull with the weapon balancing. I forget when that was,
Yes.
but like that's probably when I stopped playing because I'm like, man, I'm just getting murdered out here, and it's almost not even fun. And then there seemed to be a redemption arc in that. Can you explain a little bit of what that was?
I don't remember specifically when everyone really started to get pissed off about the weapon balancing, but between launch and like September, early October, I want to say, the weapons all started out great.
Yeah,
Everything
I agree.
felt powerful to use. You know, you were living out that power fantasy. It was on the box. Use overpowered weapons to, I don't know, mess up monsters. I know that wasn't the actual.
I remember
quote,
those
but
memes.
They specifically said on the box though, use overpowered weapons. So what happened was, I guess the balancing team noticed the metas that were developing and the loadouts that people were using for missions and certain factions and everything. And I guess they thought it was a bad thing that some weapons were more powerful than others and being used way more frequently than a lot of the other options that we have. So I guess they figured, okay, well, we'll just nerf this and then, you know, it'll still be okay, but and then everyone will use the other weapons around it. But that's not really what happened.
No.
So they started nerfing pretty much, I mean, for lack of a better phrase, they started nerfing just about anything that you could consider meta, anything that seemed like it was growing to be too powerful. And then before you know it, all of the good weapons were nerfed, and then all of the crappy weapons were still the same. And then everyone is just kind of like, well, what the hell are we even playing this game for?
No one's
nothing
effective.
nothing feels good to use. So that was a really big source of ire from the community for Arrowhead during that time. And then around, I forget when they announced it exactly, but after a while, Arrowhead comes through and they say, okay, listen, we know we pissed you guys off, so we're gonna implement a 60-day plan. They called it the 60-day plan.
60-day plan.
It was either late September into October or
I'm
early
looking it up
October
right
when
now.
it started.
Using
I
the Googles.
forget exactly when it was. It was definitely like late summer, early fall, something like that.
It looks like October 2024.
There you go.
This is when the
So,
article is written. Yeah.
They implemented the 60-day plan and they told us we are going to do a pass over all of the weapons, the stratagems. We're going to take a really good look at everything, and we're going to reevaluate what made everything fun when the game first launched, what made these weapons so fun in the first game even. Because some content creators out there were playing the first game during this lull in content and when all the weapons felt bad, because they're like, okay, so obviously the first game was successful enough to make a second game, so let's see what's so good about the first one. And then, you know, everyone just kind of was like, yeah, the weapons in the first game feel great. You can kill everything that you need to with them. I'm rambling at this point.
It was about style, you know, like you could pick your play style. You could have fun with your play style. Like for instance, I'm a semi-auto guy, and like I know the autocannon like was one of my favorite, and it was like less useful. Like they buffed the armor, or like it wasn't getting through armor the right way or something.
Yeah.
Like, well, why am I carrying this, you know? And then like I love the shotgun, and then they're like, well, too many people are using the shotgun. I'm like, well, I don't like auto weapons. I want boom, you know? And
everything in the first game is viable. It may not be the best, but you can still use it if you construct your loadout well enough. And it wasn't like that for this game. It's like the metas were there because the weapons that weren't meta were not viable. People
Yeah.
weren't using them because they were legit just crap. So
Oof.
once
I
they
mean,
started
I would just say
nerfing all
not
the
effective.
meta, yeah,
Like if
once they
everything's killing
started,
you, but
yeah, once they started nerfing everything that was meta, it was just like, okay, well now nothing is viable. Now this sucks to play.
yeah.
So they come through with the 60-day plan. They went through like all the stratagems, went through all a bunch of the weapons, and they just buffed a bunch of our options across the board, and they made everything feel powerful and feel fun to use again.
Yeah, and you know what? It's great. Like I know the guys at the more difficult levels probably still doing okay because they're just like amazing Helldivers. But the thing is, like you still got your audience that's in like the mid range of skill, and if they're not having fun, I mean, like you can't have only like the most elite people playing your game having fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
they buffed
Like,
it. I think it was a great move by Arrowhead Games. I've been having. I returned to the game not too long ago. Everything is fun. I came when the Illuminate showed up. And then like getting the car was like a really big deal. Like yes,
yeah,
jump in, guys, we're
yeah.
going.
Yeah,
And,
the fast recon vehicle is pretty fun. When the driver actually knows how to drive, the
yeah.
fast recon vehicle is a lot of fun.
They're actually difficult to drive with the terrain in this game too, man. Like a rock that you don't see, forget about it. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
stim yourself because everybody's rolling.
I'll give the driver two chances. The first one, okay, stuff happens, but after like the second time, I'm just like, okay, I'll walk.
Yeah,
Thank
two
you.
strikes and I'm walking, bro. That's enough.
Yeah.
So now tell me about this. Now we have this like new interesting thing happening. The Illuminate showed up. We got this dark energy coming on. I know you played a lot of the first game, so can you give me some insight? Like, what's the Illuminate doing, and do you think Arrowhead Games is ramping up for something pretty soon?
I do think Arrowhead is ramping up for something pretty soon because they really like to remind the community that they take their summer vacations very seriously.
Huh.
So I'm hoping before the summer gets here and everyone takes their vacation and there aren't that many people at the office, looking after the game. I don't really know exactly how it works, but I know they're gonna want to take their vacation. There's not going to be quite as much content over the summer, I imagine. Maybe like a war bond. They'll probably keep that cadence up. But I don't think they're going to do anything huge. But before the summer, I'm hoping and speculating that they're going to give us maybe not all of them, but they're going to give us more of the Illuminate units that are still missing from the game.
Well, I got a fun little tip off here too. I was looking on Steam, and the first Helldivers, the Dive Harder edition, is going for $3.99 right now. So it's almost like, hey, now's a great time to check out the first one, get back into the second one, and like, boom, they're gonna surprise us probably. Like they want everybody to get familiar with probably what's going on in the first one, and then release whatever they're gonna release for the second one, and then. Yeah, dude, and has there any like I am blessed with having a lot of friends. So I'm being very humble, but I take care of my friends. And right now, and I know it's a big deal because when you add more players, I'm asking for more players. Have you seen any rumblings or chats or talks or hints or anything, because I know you like doing a lot of research, that they might let a little bit like a few more Helldivers into a same mission? Maybe?
Oh,
Quite possible.
I don't remember specifically. I know it's definitely been talked about. I know they've been talking about it.
If you don't know, you don't know. I'm just asking if you heard something.
I don't know specifically, no, but they have heard the community talking about it, and I know it's something that they're considering at the very least.
Okay. And now I'm no game. Oh, go ahead.
I think the big thing that most of the community wants is like maybe like a raid of some sort, like a much bigger, more intense mission that requires more Helldivers to play it at a time to complete it, or the boss fights. I think they're saying maybe to use more Helldivers for the boss fights. I don't think that's going to be something we see anytime soon. more Helldivers per mission. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe.
Well, see, the thing is, I wouldn't ask for it for every mission. Like going in there with like 4 people, your buds, you know, you had a game, you don't want to tell everybody to be online kind of thing. You just want to get in there and, you know, play a couple rounds and get out, play a couple missions. I could definitely could see this being like event based though. Like you're saying a raid or even like a defense. Because like I'm not a game developer, but I do know that like making levels, adding players, the inventories, the balance, like now you got 8 stratagems, like is there a way to balance that out?
That would be pretty cool. Now, when you said a defense mission, like, because the defense missions are pretty fun. Like, they're easy.
Yeah.
But they're still fun because, you know, you have like this whole keep, because I can't think of any other word to call it.
Keep,
But
like
you're just defending. Yeah, and you know all the enemies come from one direction. It would be cool to have more Helldivers in a mission like that in a bigger map, so that we literally just like see like just these hordes of enemies just coming at us over the field. Like that would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Or
it's just I see it being so intensive because like now you have to look at this many more enemies. There's this many more players on the map, so I'm not sure how they would balance it. Maybe like they have a couple of different zones, and maybe one player or 2 players have to go in between different zones to help defend at different areas. I don't know how they would do it. But I feel like that's just fun. Like, you just want to shoot stuff with your buddies. And this game has probably made some really great friendships. And 4 sometimes just doesn't feel like enough. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, definitely. Because of, for the scope of a game like this, it would make sense. I mean, it's a war. So it would make sense to have, like, more than just a 4-man squad with you. Maybe, like, a small platoon. You know?
Exactly.
Oh, shoot, I hit my microphone. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Definitely the defense missions would be awesome. And I would really like to see, like, maybe they could have 2 different versions of the boss fights. One that, you know, just the 4-man teams can still go after. Or you could have an option for bringing more people for it, like a more intense boss fight. Kind of like what they do in Final Fantasy. Not that they increase the players that you can bring to that fight, but they increase the difficulty for the people who want a bigger challenge. So, you know, for the guys who really want to fight tooth and nail against a big ass boss with their Helldiver friends, then that would be a nice addition to just kind of be able to bring a bigger squad for something like that.
And you know what else, dude? I played a game a long time ago. It was a PlayStation 3 game. It was a big experiment. And it was called MAG, like Massive Action Game or something like that. That's
right, I remember you talking about it. You were
love that game. It was cutthroat because it would be like, you know, one-on-one factions, but then every so often there was a cutthroat map where it was like all 3 factions are on the same map. And I'm almost thinking like this could be really cool, but there's like, let's say like the Illuminate have something that they're cooking up. And it's like, well, the automatons want it, and also the Terminids don't want anything to do with it. So, like, they're going at it, and then you're like, well, we want to destroy it too, or take it maybe, right? Like, you want to steal it. And that would be something cool, because you have to, like, part the waves, get in there, steal it, maybe take a vehicle out. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just throwing out ideas. It would be really fun. There's so much for this game to have fun with.
That kind of reminds me of... another concept I've seen a lot of members of the community bouncing around, the cross-faction missions, where the mission, there's more than one faction for us to fight, like a mission that has bots and bugs.
Yeah.
Or Illuminate and bots. And I want to take it a step further. Since the Illuminate can do mind control, I want to see the Illuminates mind controlling bugs, mind controlling bots, and maybe see like what kind of twisted versions of those creatures that the Illuminate can come up with. That would be insane for me.
Yeah.
Or even the automatons. Maybe the automatons get their hands on a sample of bugs and they start turning them into like killing machines are like tanky like the bots because they have cybernetic parts, but they're just as fast as the bugs. That would be pretty cool.
Dude, you're reminding me of Turok right now. Like you know how like they have dinosaurs and guns on the dinosaurs? Like they're gonna have guns on Terminids and stuff. Like that would be so dumb.
and then you could have. That's how the robots would like quote unquote infect
Yeah.
Terminants or Illuminate. I could see them giving the Illuminate like their cybernetic parts too. Oh,
Yep.
that'd be so cool. And for the bugs, it would have to be like they would have to like keep the gloom cloud around because the gloom cloud is what's making the bugs mutate right
Yeah.
now. We have three different strains of bugs. We have the base strain, the normal strain. We have I think they call it the gloom strain. They're like paler in color. They have like these crazy looking antennae coming out of their heads. It almost looks like antlers,
Yeah,
but it's
I've seen 'em.
fleshy.
Yeah.
And they explode. You have the predator strain, which are aggressive. They're faster.
can't stand that
The
one.
hunters can go invisible. Yeah.
I just
So,
can't stand those.
I'm imagining if the bugs were to somehow be able to make their own units out of the robots or the squids, it would probably have to be like maybe the squids got caught in the gloom. Same for the robots, and then the
Yeah.
gloom kind of takes over their bodies and turns them into something else, like kind of like the bugs.
In a way, too. You know what? Like, because if you ever played StarCraft, this is almost like the three factions from StarCraft. You have your Zerg,
Yeah.
you have your automatons, which are like
Yes.
essentially the Terran, you know? And then you have the Illuminate, which are like the Protoss. And they fight each other. Like, they also want control over certain things. So, like,
Yeah.
if you landed somewhere and you wanted to steal something from the both of them, or whatever the case may be, like, you know, you're just kind of jerks as Helldivers.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got to take this. This needs to be liberated from both of them. But I can only imagine the nightmare that is. Like, you know, again, I'm not a game developer, but I mean, there's got to be a lot of resources that go into that. But
Oh man, I could
just dreaming right
totally
now.
see something like that. Yo, of course. I'm all for dreaming, man. Like I think about this kind of stuff all the time. You could just have it would be so great for the lore
Yeah,
to
for
have
sure.
the other factions interacting with each other also and not just trying to focus down Super Earth.
Yeah, really.
There's so many possibilities for world building and just cool stuff in general to just come out of having cross-faction interactions between our enemies. That would be insane.
Dude, and you know what? There's so much potential right now for this game. We are talking about like we're dreaming. I do want to get into the gun talk and stuff soon.
Yeah.
But hold on, but I gotta mention this because Sony has confirmed back in January that a Helldivers movie is coming out. Now,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Yes, like that's just gonna bring that. Like, if this was already like mainstream, because it is, like, gaming is mainstream now. But
Yeah.
making a movie lets anyone enjoy Helldivers. And I really do feel like there are some games that last 10 years. Like, for instance,
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto lasted 12 years, you know? And I think Helldivers 2 entry into the gaming space, because the game does look so good. I mean, I upgraded my PC
Yes.
and I put all the sliders all the way up, and I'm like, my God, this game is beautiful destruction. So it's got the visual appeal to last a long time. Like if Grand Theft Auto could last 10 years, this game can last 10 years. They could do so much with it. With the, let's say, the popularity of the movie coming out, they're gonna have to like revamp the game to give people more. Like, there's so much. Do you think this game can last 10 years?
I
You don't know.
I want to say yes because first of all I'm biased. I'm a huge fan of the first game. It's probably my most played PlayStation 4 game. I got Helldivers 2 on my PC. It's probably my most played shooter on PC right now. If it isn't, it's going to be soon.
Yeah.
If Arrowhead really buckles down and does what it, because the real problem with the game is AAA expectations from an indie team
Yes.
of developers. That's one of the big problems with how everyone feels about the game, I think. Everyone loves the game. Everyone knows it's a AAA quality game because the gameplay loop is just that much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it yourself. At launch, people couldn't get into the servers because that many people wanted to play it and they didn't care. They were like, please, just, it's fine. It's okay. Just get us some more servers so we can play, please.
You know what was great too is like the Helldivers that weren't getting into the game. They were on TikTok. They were on Instagram. I love seeing like the wives of Helldivers, the girlfriends of Helldivers. Like people are just doing Helldiver stuff without being in the game. And I love that about the community. That was so good.
I love seeing the videos of the cosplayers who all dress up as Helldivers walking through a convention together. That's always wonderful to see. But getting back to what I was saying, I definitely think the game can, based on its gameplay alone, it has a very, very strong chance of lasting 10 years, I think. Just because the gameplay loop is that immaculate. They're winning awards at like game shows left and right for Helldivers 2, Arrowhead Game Studios. It's insane. And
okay, I want to say something to that because like hold your thought there. I do know Arrowhead Games is about like I think right now I'm seeing it's 120 people. I think when the game launched it was about 100. And there's something to be said about a close-knit group. Like if your coworkers are all going to the same building and you can have conversations with people at the water cooler or in meetings or whatever the case may be. This is a tight-knit, passionate studio. And 100 people isn't that many people. Like, I work at a company that there's 80 to 90 people in my building. Now, I kind of know everybody by face. I don't know everybody for real. But I'm familiar with what everybody's doing. And I'm on board with what they're doing. And that's got to be the same thing for the studio. Because, like, when you get a huge studio, you're essentially diluting the passion. Yes, someone has to drive it. Like, there's the game director and probably, like, the person who writes the game and, like, your art director and stuff. But, like, it is so diluted. Like, you're like, you don't have to make this masterpiece that, like, takes years to make. Like, this is just a fun game loop, like you're saying. 100 people were like, this is going to be a great game, And they made it, and they love it, and they're still servicing it as a live service game. And this is what we need more of. They are a perfect example of where the gaming industry needs to go. Like, take your risk, use a smaller studio, use a smaller, passionate studio. They have more tools with the game engines and the way the game looks. And, I mean, I think people have been spinning their tires. Not people. I think these huge game studios have been spinning their tires on these old franchises that have these things that we've already played over and over and over again. There's nothing new. It's just essentially reskinned or a couple extra graphics. Whereas Helldivers brought like the heroism, the music, the gameplay loop. They're all like you could tell they're all concerned. Like when you shoot a gun, that's the art. That's the art of the gun, the effect of the gun, the sound of the gun, the animation of the gun. And if you have so many people involved, again, it's something to get through. But with 100 people, you could get a quick meeting going. Hey, this ain't working, or we need to make this better, or this is amazing. Let's do more of that. And I really think that's why Arrowhead Game Studios is doing such a good job at Helldivers, because they can maneuver like that, and they're still sort of indie. That's what's crazy is they're still sort of indie, just being published by Sony. Like Sony's like, yeah, make that game. All right, we're gonna make it.
I'm 100% with that. I do think that lots of gaming studios have gotten too bloated. There's too many ideas flying around at once, and they're not like everything is a lot safer.
Yeah, they don't have like a locked-in identity. Like lock in. This is what we're doing. We're going over propagandized war heroes that are doing space battles, and I love how they call it space racism.
Yeah, like, they don't need so many people. Like, if I understand, like all right, so gaming graphics, everyone's starting to think they're plateauing.
Exactly.
But all right, so it's like, do you really need all these people to make the graphics look that good, or like to make the animations as like all the small details that require all these extra people? It's just not needed. Your game doesn't have to look like a masterpiece. It just needs to look good.
Exactly.
It just needs to sound good. It needs to play great.
Yes, I agree.
Everything else falls by the wayside when the gameplay is really bad, and it's nothing that no one has seen before, and it's just, it's just business as usual. So I'm with that.
Yeah.
Game studios are definitely too big.
And I do love how the PC environment harbors more independent attention. And I think that's one of the things, like, when Helldivers had its little lull with the whole PlayStation, signing in the PlayStation Network, they're like, no, it's like, we know better. We know Arrowhead is like an indie studio. We know they want to service us. They're not like Sony was like, I don't know, overlording Arrowhead there, but they were getting out in front of Arrowhead. And it's like, no, let Arrowhead lead. That's why they're successful. Let them lead. Don't get out in front of Arrowhead. So, I mean, this is just a great lesson to the whole gaming industry, I think, and people should follow this lead. Like, I mean, if I won the lottery and I could be a philanthropist overnight, or maybe I'll start a publishing studio, I would look for, let's get 100 people together. That's exactly what I would look at. I wouldn't look at it. I don't want to make a AAA game, whatever. I want a small group of super passionate people that want to try something.
Yes, they have to be careful about who they add to their team, because if they do like some studios, they finally have their big blow up and they expand too much. If they can't like deliver because they've expanded too much, then that's going to be a really big problem for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I was saying. I never really got to finish my thought about what we were talking about if this game could last for 10 years. I really do think that could happen. And it just really depends on how well they walk that line between getting enough passionate people on their team to keep the game going at a cadence that the community can stay occupied with. But hopefully they don't expand too much where, now all of the visionaries among them that made the game possible in the first place, their voices start getting drowned out by people who may not care as much.
Yeah. And so let me add something to that too, because I think the war bonds, you have the war bonds, and then you have like gameplay that's added, which is like essentially an enemy, right? And they have planets, and I'm sure they can come up with different templates for planets too as a service. But I think the war bond is such a great financial strategy because it's something new. It adds cosmetics. It does add gameplay, and it's not expensive. So like say
that again. I'm sorry. What did you say?
It adds.
They should add.
No, it doesn't say that should. I'm saying the war bonds, they do add some gameplay because you get a perk in there, or you'll get like a new weapon. It adds some cosmetics, and it's a perfect bet. Like for for an American $10, it's like sure, why not? And they leave them there. And so what also is great about that too is you have to unlock everything. You can't just buy it and use it. So you get people to return to the game for things they like. Right now they're doing the Borderline Justice one, and I got a friend that loves cowboy stuff, and guess what? He's playing the game and he's going to spend his $10 to unlock this Borderline Justice stuff. So
is that Luch?
You know it. He loves Red Dead Redemption, so he's coming back to unlock that.
Okay.
So,
right.
But I think it's a good financial strategy. And you know what? Honestly, it doesn't have to last 10 years. If it wanted to do Helldivers 3, let's say, like, man, this is super popular. We have to add new technology. Let's say like the game engines got better. There's better technology. Let's say they can have 8 Helldivers, but they have to upgrade the engine. Well, let's do that. So we'll make Helldivers 3. And we don't have to change too much. They still love the gameplay loop, so maybe it doesn't have to last 10 years.
I don't remember who among Arrowhead Game Studios said it specifically, but one of them was talking about how, like, we're kind of building Helldivers 3 with Helldivers 2. So it's like
complete sense.
I imagine since this is like, the first big foray into a third-person shooter, they're doing all of the learning on Helldivers 2. They are learning everything that they need to learn right now, so that whenever they do decide to make Helldivers 3, hopefully we don't get
I'm sure they already decided.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they already decided, but like for instance, I do know that, like, I don't want to bring up another game and take the spotlight away from Helldivers, but one of my other favorite games by Undead Labs is State of Decay. And I know State of Decay 2 was updated and serviced forever. And they were updating weapons and modes and this and that. And you know that they were taking that and probably like, okay, we have to do this for 3. And they're putting it into 3. They already told us they're working on 3 now. Anyway, it's been announced. But like, that's very smart. It's like, if you have that success, then utilize your community. And you could make something else, but I think this is so popular that, like, let's say they want to add more Helldivers. Well, maybe they got to upgrade their technology, so it's a whole different game. Dude, I'm so excited right now. I want to go play.
Dude, let me tell you something. The reason why I love Helldivers 2 so much, first of all, I was a huge fan of the first game. You know this.
Yes.
But number 2, the Helldivers 2 literally is everything I imagined it would be.
Isn't that great? Like, good job, Arrowhead.
they straight up, like, I can't imagine anything that I would have changed, because I remember playing the shit out of the first game and having so much fun and thinking, my God, like, if they ever decided to make a sequel to this but get rid of the top-down isometric view and just go straight up like full third person or first person, that would be insane. And I don't know what I imagined, because I forgot it. Because now that I have the game, I have no.
You don't have to.
This is better than what I imagined. They exceeded my expectations.
So
this is why I give them all my money. This is why I have every fucking Warbond unlocked. I have damn near everything from the Superstore. I have a lot of faith in them. I appreciate the attitude that they bring to game development. I like the way they keep open communication with the community and everything. I just like the way they move. And after how much fun I had with the first game, how much fun I'm having with the second game, I have faith in Arrowhead Game Studios to like really turn this into something way better than we can possibly imagine.
Hell yeah, brother. You know what? I was excited for you when I saw the trailer. I love those reveals. When I saw the trailer, I was actually more excited because I knew you would be excited. I'm like, oh yeah, because like I played Helldivers with you, the first one, and I had a lot of fun. And if as every game does, it falls off. But I did, just like you did. You played a lot more, but I saw the potential. I'm like, this can be a great game, like with a great environment and all that stuff if they expanded it. And as soon as I saw that announcement trailer, I was like, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so hard for me to put this game down. This has literally been my go-to shooter since it launched.
Well, let's talk about the game. Now we'll get into the game. We're almost like 43 minutes in. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the game. Now, I don't think this is going to be a tutorial video or anything, but let's talk about like the all-around Helldiver, because that's what you do. You're really good at getting people into the game. You get them acquainted. We get into like a decent difficulty. So tell like a new Helldiver that wants to get into this, what are they aiming for? Like an all-around kit that'll, what's your go-to stuff? What's your bread and butter? And then where do you specialize? What's the bread and butter?
Okay. Okay, let me think about this. First of all, I would say that don't rush into buying new armor yet if you don't have to.
Okay.
Like I'm definitely going to recommend war bonds for them to purchase. You're probably going to have to buy some armors anyway just to be able to unlock the next page, depending on how many medals you're spending. Anyway, but I would say if you can skip over the armors, if you don't really think you need them, don't feel bad about skipping them, because honestly, the one that they start you with, just the B01 tactical, it's actually a really good armor. You have a medium armored character, which means you're not too fast, you're not too slow, but you have heavy character armor. And that, I think a lot of people sleep on just how good that really is. After playing the game for a while, my favorites were, I really liked engineering kit. I would use light armor engineering kit or hybrid light medium armor engineering kit, and that would be like my bread and butter. Or what was the other one? Anyway, I came back to the B1 Tactical when the Illuminate came out, because it was a new faction and I didn't really know what I was going to need. So I just went back to the default armor, and honestly, the default armor is just kind of perfect for everything you need.
Look at you.
Have you can easily still outrun bugs and voteless in medium armor. Not as easily as light armor, but still easy enough.
Yeah, at some points of the game, I feel like running is more important than being able to take another hit.
You have enough health to take a forgiving amount of hits, and just it's just great. It's a really just good all around armor. I really wouldn't sleep on extra padding on medium armor. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Talk about guns.
Guns. Okay.
What's your go-to? If you don't know what you're playing, what's your go-to? And I mean that like if you don't know what mission you're dropping into.
Well, when they start out, they're not gonna have a whole lot available to them. I think everyone just starts with the Liberator Penetrator. No, not with the Penetrator. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, I thought
That's
that was
a normal
an unlock.
Liberator.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to saying.
Yeah, you say that all the time.
You start with the base Liberator, and let me see. I'm looking through the first free Warbond right now.
While you're looking at that free Warbond, I was gonna say like I immediately gravitated to the shotgun, and that would be my suggestion because like for new players, getting rid of the stuff that's close to you is key. Like if you don't know what's going on, just get rid of the stuff close to you. Shotgun stuff that you can do close combat with is great because well you don't know how it could hurt you. You don't want to also get overwhelmed. So I was a very close proximity player when I first started.
Yes, Breaker is very good starter weapon. I think in the very beginning you unlock Punisher, you unlock the first Diligence marksman rifle, you unlock the SMG-37 Defender, and those are all pretty solid, but they're better in the hands of veterans.
Yeah.
It's like, especially when you're just starting out, you don't really know the rhythm of the game. I would definitely say the original Breaker is a good starting point, because then if they really want something longer range, they can probably just get that out of one of the earlier machine guns that you get.
Yeah. What's your now you said your beginner gun, but what's your favorite primary weapon?
That's a tough one.
You play this game so much. You're like, well, if we're playing these bugs, I want this, and if we're playing the automatons, I want to use this. And,
I'll give you a few of my favorites.
Go for it.
Liberator Penetrator.
Why?
It's just because it's just everything you need in a very well-rounded primary assault rifle. It does less damage than the base Liberator now, but that medium armor penetrating is priceless.
Nice.
It's just so good. It just the number of units you can take out with just your primary is so much greater than if you're just carrying the light.
And I believe you because you have 107,000 confirmed kills.
And I would also recommend it for beginners too, though they probably won't be beginners by the time they unlock it because it's pretty far into that Warbond. But
yeah,
it really is a good beginner gun because, like I said, you can just shoot so many other things with it. It's perfect for just going monkey brain and just be, all right, I'm just going to shoot everything. It's really good for that.
What's your secondary? I know you dude, you're always coming up with science for these secondaries.
For secondaries, they'll be fine. Beginners will be fine with the Redeemer for a while.
Is that the SMG?
Yeah. The machine pistol, that's the first one you unlock, I believe. And that thing's gonna carry them for a while. You really don't have to worry about anything else. If I let me see, I'm trying to see what else is here. I'm trying to think of all the stuff that's available earlier on because we're trying to help out beginners. Definitely Breaker Shotgun for bugs. It would be good for Illuminate also.
Yeah.
For the bots in the beginning, you might have to just stick with your normal Liberator. Breaker will work on them too, but the thing is with box. This
is why I'm laughing, because this is why you're an encyclopedia, because you think about all of this. Like
my brain just kind of goes wild when I'm trying to put my loadouts together. It's insane. But for bots, you might actually just be better off with the base Liberator that you start with, because even though it's not medium armor penetrating, all you got to do is just aim for their eyes. If you see the
Easy enough.
glowing red eyes, shoot for the glowing red eyes. You're gonna kill the robot. Okay.
Sounds good.
Um.
And then, you know what? Actually, we're kind of running out of time. I want to keep it underneath an hour. So let's get into your
Gotcha.
stratagems. Because, I'm sure anybody that's gotten this far is actually more of a
Okay.
veteran. So
Well-
what are your favorite stratagems? Like, are you an orbital guy? Are you an eagle guy? Like, what do you like using?
Real quick, let me just wind back to the primaries one more
Go ahead,
time.
finish the primaries.
Definitely base liberator penetrator. Those will be great for beginners. The breaker shotgun, and trying to see what else is available at the beginning. Stick with those three. Those three in the very beginning. Those primaries will actually carry you a long way. You don't have to go nuts with unlocking a whole bunch of others. The redeemer is going to be very good, and
Just your secondary.
those impact grenades will also.
I
as
am
your throwable,
still using those. I love those.
those will carry you pretty far too. Heavy armor penetrating, explosive. You don't have to wait for a fuse. You just have to be careful that you don't throw it at something that's 2 feet
Super
in front of
close.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out because
Yeah.
I wanted to complete the thoughts. All right, let's go to stratagems.
Stratagems, man.
Were you
So
asking me?
what are you? Are you an orbital guy? Are you an eagle guy? Do you like your defense turrets? Like, what do you like?
I am definitely an orbital and eagle guy. I
That's funny.
definitely.
This is why we work together, because I'm more of like a defense turrets guy. Like, I want equipment everywhere.
Yeah, the only faction I use the turret. Actually, I do use turrets on robots. It depends on what I'm feeling. Depends on the load at the time. But for stratagems in the beginning, for beginners, 100% that first machine gun that they give you is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Medium armor penetrating. There's a lot of stuff that you can kill for it. It's just really good for chaff clearing. If you're rocking breaker shotgun, this machine gun will be perfect to pair with that, because then that'll be your long range option.
Yeah.
Same thing for the anti-material rifle. This is heavy armor penetrating. There aren't many things you can't kill with it. Even the bigger units, you just have to make sure you hit the weak spots with it. I know we were trying to. We're running out of time, so that's why I'm trying to.
Yeah, I got you. I'm a big fan of the arc. I love the arc cannon.
I'm
my-
talking in a general sense of weapons and stratagems that are going to be useful across all three factions.
Gotcha.
Just as an FYI. Star Wars is going to be great. Star Wars is the best assault rifle in the game. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Expendable anti-tank. I personally don't use them, but if you're the type who doesn't want to always constantly be carrying your anti-tank option around with you, you can just have this. You call it down. The cooldown is short as hell. You get 2 of them, 2 shots, blow up what you need to blow up, and keep it moving.
It's such a great what do you call it? Like adaptable stratagem. Like, oh my gosh, I need this, and it's usually available. Like, we need this now. Okay, call it. It's there.
Yep.
Blow it up. Move on. That's
Right.
why I like that.
Recoil. I'm just going down the list here.
No,
I'm
we
trying
don't
to
have
keep
time
it
for the whole
to
list, man. I wanted your few favorites.
Yeah.
So let's get into orbitals and your eagles, because
Orbitals and eagles. I got you.
I want to know your
Orbital
favorite. We
Gatling
don't have to go
barrage.
through the whole list. We can actually always make another video if we want, but I want your favorites.
Orbital Gatling barrage, 100%.
We'll just get that at the beginning.
It just the way I treat it is just like a bigger grenade.
Yeah.
It just brings down bullets in a nice like circular pattern, a nice big area of effect for everyone. Heavy armor penetrating. It kills just about anything that's in it, or at the very least, it'll soften it up.
Yeah.
Orbital laser. You don't unlock that until later, but it's a really, really great just get out of jail free card. You only get 3 of them, but if you use it wisely, that's more than enough. Orbital napalm barrage, fantastic for bugs. Orbital rail cannon strike is good, but you have to pair it with something. It's great for just deleting one heavy unit from the map real quick without having to think about it, but you don't want to bring that as your only anti-tank
It's super
option.
specialized. Like, that's what I think. Like, you definitely have to plan with your team. If you're gonna bring that, you're gonna be that guy. That's your responsibility.
Yeah. You definitely need to supplement it with something. This is good for beginners. The Eagle Strafing Run. I gave that to your buddy Luch the other night. He started using it. He loves it.
He did great.
It's such a good, well-rounded, easy stratagem to use. The input is quick. The attack pattern is just in a straight line out in front of you from where your stratagem ball lands, and it can kill a huge variety of things. Like it's all around good, and you get freaking 5 uses.
I got 28 kills with that thing the other day. Like there was the vote list coming at me in a perfect line. I'm like, I think I could do this, and it was like, oh, yellow 28, nice.
Yeah. Eagle Airstrike, very versatile. It's just a
dude. If I may,
bomb airstrike.
I love Eagle Napalm. That's my favorite. You know.
Yeah, Eagle Napalm's pretty good.
It's the effect. You know, it's almost like cinematic for me. Like, it just melts things. It also has area of effect. It denies whatever the enemy is going into that area. You fight weaker things because they've been burned a little bit. It stays around for a little while. So, you know, just in case I mess up, you know, it's still there.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think
I don't think Eagle Napalm Airstrike gets enough credit because Orbital Napalm Barrage exists.
Oh,
and
man.
Everyone likes to hype that one up, which I'm not saying it's bad, but like just it just does cover such a much larger area. It's this huge big spectacle. But Eagle Napalm definitely has the advantage of actually being able to be used consecutively.
Oh yeah, dude, but like there's something about calling that eagle 3 times, man. Like shoom fire, shoom fire. Like it definitely feel like it gets really cinematic.
Gotcha.
And then go ahead,
Orbital Precision.
Are you going down the list again?
Yeah, but I'm skimming. I'm not doing the entire thing. Okay. I'm skimming. Orbital Precision Strike is the one that we all start with. It's very good. Kills anything, kills objectives. You just have to get good with timing.
Yeah.
Literally, they give you one of the most well-rounded orbitals in the game as your first.
You know, I'm noticing that as a trend in these games. It's not just Helldivers, but like these game developers are learning like to give you the best option as like a starting weapon, and then they let you specialize yourself, which I think is kind of neat. But like at least everyone is useful, and I'm actually seeing this in more than Helldivers.
What else?
We got 3 minutes.
Supply pack, 100%. You get to resupply ammo if you're a big machine gun user.
I will not be carrying that.
Or if you want more stims, it's really good for beginners because you get more stims. You'll get more health out of it. You get more ammo. You can kind of go a little bit crazier with your primary loadout. And laser cannon, 100%, 1,000,000%, 1,000 times.
You love that thing.
Like laser cannon is good against all 3 factions. I'll say it once before, I'll say it again. It doesn't kill things the fastest, but there aren't a whole lot of things it can't kill.
Yeah, that's
so
a great
laser
motto.
cannon's always really, really good. Machine gun sentry. Machine gun sentry is a great just all-around sentry.
That's me. By the way, I'm machine gun, Gatling, arc, and napalm. That's what I love playing like that. I might not be a heavy destroyer, but I keep the team kind of safe in an area. That's what I like to do. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll do this again, dude, because this was an hour.
Yeah,
I wanted to introduce you to the Astro-Nots listeners, and maybe there's some Helldivers out there. And we'll have to do this again, and maybe we can drill down into weapons, we can drill down into enemies and stuff like that. But this is our introduction, bringing Helldivers into the Astro-Nots channel. And I want to thank you for coming on, being like my local expert. It also helps that you're my brother. But, you want to do this again?
I'd be down to do this again, and I'm happy I was able to help. I know I'm not that big of an expert, but I mean,
yeah, dude, come on, you're plus level 100. I think anybody over level 100's got a lot to say about this game.
I'm pretty casual compared to a lot
I'm
of
level
players,
40, guys. So let's leave it at that. We have another Astro-Not, and thank you guys for listening. We will see you in the next video. Again, Mike, thanks for coming. Take care, guys. And I'm saluting everyone. See you later.
Take care, everybody.